We are the last part of our interview, and it's about the reincarnation process and the goal and aim of the process, and what you can remember about that. And to start off, do you remember the process of coming back to Earth?
I have to say no to that. There's little hints I get of it from some dreams. There's lots of I've been frightened and been stuck in a small space and come into like almost stairwells or spiral tunnels or something like that. They sort of come up and always freaked out 'cause don't know where they're leading to.
Dreams?
Yeah, and I don't know if that's part of the birth process of being born. But no, there's no... That would be quite confronting as well, pretty sure.
Certainly.
Yeah, from being in a pristine condition to this dark condition, entering, that's more the birth process I said before, but you were already incarnated for 9 months before then. Yeah, but experiencing like the feelings from earth feelings, like from your parents and stuff like that, and they're not as nowhere near as nice as feelings from God and from other people around you in the spirit world. So yeah. And maybe the loss of everything once again, being dumped onto the horrible earth, and after being where you were.
Why have you returned to Earth? You and the 14, I suppose it's the same reason.
Yeah, it's all the same reason for all of us. There's so many reasons, but the main reason is to share to the earth the truths about God and God's love and the way to at-onement with God. And why there's 14 of us, people sometimes ask that question too, is it gives us the best opportunity should something go wrong and stuff like that. Like one John I was talking about before he got killed. And also it brings different personalities that people might have trouble with religion stuff, so they might have trouble with Jesus or Mary and stuff. They might have less issues with others of the 14 that they may not have even known anything about their lives, but they can still feel the same things that come from Jesus and Mary, same truths and things. So it gives it a greater opportunity for truth to be available to different walks of life, I guess. And it's different. Every one of the 14 has different qualities as well. It wants to bring to earth, to share with people. Like there's, they have different gifts, I guess you can say, to bring to earth. There's also 2 gay couples. There's a female and there's a male gay couple too, to bring that to earth, the truth about that. It's mainly because of love in the end. That's the bottom line. It's just a love for humanity, for people. Wanting to be able to, when you got something so great, you want to share that with everybody else. Yeah, and you just feel compassion for, after being on earth before ourselves, we just have so much compassion for the people that are on earth and have that, that they could be a lot happier. There's so many dark things that happen here on earth.
Do you feel this compassion for people?
At times, yeah. Sometimes I lose it a bit through my own issues, which I just feel angry sometimes, and there's not much compassion when you're a bit angry. But still have the compassion for people that feel, I don't know, hypocritical in saying that, because if I was that compassionate, then I'd probably work through more of my stuff. So I have true compassion for them rather than being so involved in my own self-absorbed, fears. There's lots of different reasons. What are some of the other ones? Just to demonstrate what love looks like from God's perspective, to demonstrate what being a male from God's perspective, and also what looks like for a female from God's perspective, a true loving male, a true loving female, to show what a loving relationship couple, a soulmate relationship looks like, compared to just relationship with just anybody, sort of thing. So many different things. Keep trying to forget them, but keep coming back to them. To demonstrate how, or sort of like it's a kind of work we're doing from both ends. Also, like now I was talking before with mediumship, spirits can come and help spirits in the spirit world. But oftentimes that people have died, gone to the spirit world, have a lot more faith in earth because they've had experiences on earth. So they have a lot more trust of people on Earth. When they see spirits from a higher realm, they think they know what they are, who they are. Some people call them aliens and whatever they might be, or ghosts, or like they get a bit freaked out by it because they have no experience about that. And so like when we can help people, sort of lost my track of thought there. So basically working from both ends, or working from top down and bottom up. So when we can teach the truths on Earth and let that be brought into the spirit world, then it's going to help a lot. Then there's less work for the spirits to have to come down and help.
Okay, yeah. You mean, if I understand, you not only helping here in the material, the physical world, but you help also in the spirit world.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason.
Both,
because it's easier for them to connect with.
Yeah, they connect with the human more so because they understand them. They've lived a human life. I shouldn't say human, it's just physical body life, but yeah, they have more trust in listening to that. And there's so much misinformation given to spirits on Earth that it doesn't help much. There's also so much misinformation given by spirits to mediums that they share with people on Earth, like the reincarnation theory for one of them, that just causes a lot of damage and a lot of harm on Earth. Yes, it's just trying to help everywhere. It's just trying to present the truth to people, both spirits and people on Earth. And it's also trying to get it's trying to raise the condition of Earth into a more loving place. If we can get it into just like one more sphere of love, like raise it just to the second sphere, that means all the people that are in the hells and all the people in the first sphere that are not in a good condition of love, they can't affect now the people in, which is the whole Earth then, they can't affect the whole people on Earth, which is what happens a lot now. When you talked before, you said something, I forgot to bring up a point about it. You're saying when people, their soul, when it's in a dark condition, everything's sort of designed to go into a better condition. But it's also like people can retrograde too. They can darken their condition every time they do something unloving.
They can. Yeah,
their condition gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And on Earth, you don't often notice it that much, or you do a bit, but not to the extent of when they go to the spirit world. Their surroundings will change, will get worse. Their power will get worse. Oftentimes, they need a lot of them to just go and create one dark thing on Earth. Like a lot, because they haven't got the energy to form. Like sometimes they're trying to scare people, or trying to manipulate something. They need a lot of combined energy because they just haven't got enough from one person.
You know why God didn't make it more obvious here, also to see the environment change?
Oh, it is obvious. It can be.
It can be.
Yeah, if you're aware of it. You have to be aware of it. We just don't want to be aware of it generally. Right. Like, how often do we not want to be aware of our own feelings?
Okay.
Yeah. That's what happens. Like a lot of spirits, you'll notice in, like, to do with drugs and alcohol, there's a lot involved in that. A lot of dark things happen because of that, because the spirits are involved in that too. Only because people choose to not want to be connected with themselves. They choose to step away via a drug or an alcohol. So spirit jumps in. They can do lots of things. So people on Earth allow that to happen by their own feelings. Yeah, to some degree. The spirits are often trying to scare people, trying to feel powerful over them, or trying to get something from that person, trying to get them to go and drink because their spirit can't have the effects of alcohol anymore in the spirit world because it's not there. So they try and get that person to do it so they can get that feeling via that person. A lot of sexual things happen, sexual misconduct happens and stuff, and abuses and lots of things, rapes.
So it's a lot. It's part of the reason you came back also to get that truth known about the influence of the spirit world on the...
Yeah, if people knew just that one thing about the spirit world, how it operates and how it affects Earth, things would change a lot on Earth. People would be aware, because like how often there's spirits going around thinking they're invisible doing all this stuff, but imagine if you could see what they're up to. They no longer have this cloak of invisibility and they have to be accountable for what they're doing.
But how are you going to make that people believe that spirit world is real? Oh, I don't know. We are going...
There's lots of evidence. It's just if people want to know, and generally people don't want to know because they're afraid.
So you just speak truth, and that's up to them if they want to experiment.
Yeah, like I was afraid of the spirit world. I was shit scared of it. I always thought if I started looking into that, which did actually happen, I thought if I go to someone, I was afraid of getting a death card. And I also had the courage to go to a medium which my girlfriend said was a good one, so I thought, she seems okay with it, so I'll go there. And she didn't seem afraid of all this stuff, so I thought, okay, maybe it's just me. So I went to this medium, And she put out these cards sort of thing, and straight away a death card come up. I thought, no. And she said, it's not like that. It's not about death and stuff like that. Yeah.
Other thing that come in your mind about why you have returned?
Demonstrations, the main thing. Yeah.
By your own life.
Yeah. It's not just like it's not like a church tells people what they should be doing rather than and not living the truth of what they're doing all the time. And so we're just doing it as a physical demonstration, an experiment. And you sort of like watch this space sort of thing. And
you don't want to create a new Bible.
No, I don't want to create a new Bible. It's just a man's version of something that they believe, but it's not God's version. We want people to go direct to the source, to God.
So you want to demonstrate at-onement with God?
Yeah, if we can, it's going to be...
You can?
I think if we even teach about it, people on earth will be able to come at one with God quicker than us.
And you want to demonstrate a state of soul union?
Yeah, with your soulmate.
With your soulmate?
Which takes a lot longer, which is more difficult.
Which is more difficult. It's very unlikely someone in the first incarnation get to that state, I suppose.
Pretty unlikely unless they've got a love for truth. Which is hard in a world that doesn't want to accept truth. So, in
the at-onement condition, they could live longer and go on the planet.
Yeah, like Jesus was in that at-onement condition on earth back in the 1st century.
You could live you didn't have to pass in the spiritual when you are in this condition, is that correct? So you could keep on the journey to soul union on the earth?
If you wanted to,
in a physical
you don't have to be, you could do.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. Is that one thing that you want to demonstrate, or as a reason of returning, or like it's possible in the flesh?
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Or teaching about it.
I'm losing faith in the time that's left to do it, but yeah. It would be really good though for people to see what a true loving relationship between a man and a woman would look like, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But why you have decided to return through a child, through a normal birthing process? Because I suppose in this state you might choose to come back in different forms.
Yeah, we could have manifested the body and just come back here. But how can you relate to that? Like you can't, it's hard for you to relate to that, isn't it? Like, oh, you're different than me, oh, you're an alien, oh, you're whatever.
Are you an alien?
No.
You're not?
No, I mean, if someone just come and manifested the body, a spirit just rolled up here, like, how would you feel? Are you the same as that spirit?
You could have done that, just manifest in your perfect state.
Yeah.
Well, no, it would be impossible to
you wouldn't even be able to, it'd be too much to manifest in a perfect state. You'd have to tune down your state to match where you get the location you go to. So you have to tune your brightness of whatever illuminates from your soul down to so you wouldn't be blinded by it, really.
There was other possibility, other way of returning besides these two?
Yeah, there's different ways. I think we discussed all these before we decided which way would be the best one. We found out the law that was possible for it to happen. Right. And that was one of them. One was to manifest the body, the spirit body, and just come to earth. Jesus did it differently before. I think this is also a different experience for him too. He's never had this experience before. In the 1st century it happened a different way. But this is a totally different experience for him too. So,
oh yes.
And it's quite difficult, he said, for him as well.
Oh yes.
What are some of the other ways we're thinking of? No, I can't remember the other ways.
Okay.
That was just another way. One was to do it from the spirit world, to just use mediums on earth and try and teach the truth through them. That requires a lot of difficulty with their free will, and it doesn't sort of like take a long, long time. You just got to get people to be interested in that, and how does that happen? Yeah. There's so much resistance to it already.
And also the quality, the distortion from the communication that can happen there.
Yeah, so this seemed just like the best way, because then it's relatable to other people.
Indeed.
It's going through the experience that they'll have to go through, applying exactly the same laws. It's not like a special thing we have to do that you don't have to do, or that we don't have to do and you have to do. It's the same laws apply for both of us, all of us. Yeah. No matter whether you're here on earth or in the spirit world, it's exactly the same. No matter whether you're reincarnated or not, first incarnation is exactly the same. So it seemed like the best choice to make it relatable to other people so they know that it's possible for them.
Yeah. Really, your soul is not a human soul anymore. Your soul is a divine soul, is it not?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
So it means that, are you not like an alien coming back, infiltrating on Earth, if we look technically? Yeah.
Yeah, you'd see someone as an alien, meaning alien, not foreign to me, as in unusual, but no different.
No, it means like it's a different creation now you are.
Yeah, but not but not something you can't potentially be either.
No,
it's not out of your realm.
Yes, it's true. It's true. That's the difference. Yeah. Because it's a bit of science fiction, but basically that's you are showing us our potential future.
It's just
of everybody, for everybody.
It's funny. It's not really science fiction. It's just it's like someone 100 years ago saying a mobile phone like pictures. That's just science fiction. It's just learning laws.
Yes.
As laws get discovered, then new discoveries happen and new things can happen. So
yes, that it appears like science fiction, but it just we don't know.
Yes,
so
there's potentials there. Once you understand the laws, and the potentials can be released or realised.
Do you know the other of the 14, and can you share a bit about them? The one you know, and what do you know about them? And
I've met most of them. I probably won't share much about them because they need to do an interview with you to share about themselves, because that's their will to not.
They don't want to be known, like a bit.
Pretty much, most of them. So I respect that as well. But they're afraid as well. I know what they're going through, what their feelings are in that way. Terrified, really, but I'm just trying to live a normal life, just trying to blend into the world, just trying to be what they think they are, trying to avoid the psychological disturbance of what they probably feel they are, and trying to just avoid feelings in general, because they'll all come up if you start feeling things.
Beside you and Mary and Jesus, the other one, they don't want to be associated even with the teaching of divine truth.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly, yeah.
There's some that kind of like come in and go out again, like get in contact, and then it freaks them out, so they disappear again too, which you can totally understand. It's like we trigger each other, like me and Jesus and Mary. Like for me, their presence just triggers me because I can feel who they are, and that triggers stuff in me until I'm okay with me, and then they'll be okay with them.
And don't you trigger them?
Don't know. I probably do in some ways, but probably not in the good ways. Probably resistive ways and stuff like that. But
have you any idea what will happen when David Walsh become at one with his soul and with God, and we become at one? Is that, I don't know, even if I can say that you're already at one, but
even
you
David Walsh is like a cardboard cutout, if you like to sort of say it. So like it disappears. It slowly, like the Cornelius will amalgamate slowly into the spirit body and physical body of me here now. And so I'll start to becoming who I truly am, not the impression that I've been made to be. Yeah, like if you can imagine someone had a cardboard cutout of I was going to say a bunyip, but you don't know what they are, but sort of like a funny creature, and then that's what they stick up to the world, and that's Pierre. And as Pierre becomes, and you believe that's who Pierre is, you're just this funny creature. But as slowly you get to know God's version of you, you start becoming who God created you to be, and this funny creature starts melting away, and Pierre starts coming into who that truly is. Okay. There's more of the real Pierre.
Oh yes.
It's a bit hard to explain, I know.
Yes, you will express, as you open to you who you are, you will express more who you are, and at some point you will express a state of at-onement in David Walsh.
No?
I got it wrong again.
By the time at-onement happens, David Walsh doesn't exist, because it's completely Cornelius' soul being expressed.
So you will be in soul union state directly, or there will be a step when you express at-onement of your soul, and then...
I think it comes in progression, like most things happen in progression rather than...
So you will be more and more Cornelius, and less David Walsh.
Yeah.
And when you're at one, there is no more David Walsh.
Yeah.
David Walsh is dissolving, like
it's kind of distressing in that way too
Yeah.
for us. Like,
It's like the butterfly thing.
yeah, a bit like a chrysalis.
Chrysalis. Yeah.
Yeah, just come through metamorphosis.
Is that the same for someone who did not return? We need to dissolve in what we believe we are to become. There is some similarity.
Well, exactly the same process. God created you, and God created my soul and your soul. And if you're not living how God created you, if you're not believing how you are, how God created you, if you're not your true character that God created, then you're something else. Which is pretty much
the case.
which is pretty much what the world's created. Like most people align with how whatever their culture or their religion or their whatever is created, their family life is created. Even just from family to family, people are quite different, aren't they? And because of what one family believes compared to another.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's people sometimes get afraid, going, "Oh, we'll all be the same. We'll all be like robots." And said, "Well, God's created every individual completely different. There's not one person's the same as another anywhere." Which is the beauty of it all, isn't it?
Do you reckon we have all the passions God has, we have in us as potential to grow them as well?
It's always potential.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Always.
some passion or desire are stronger in our soul than others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually what you love. It's your gift, pretty much. It's your gift you'll give to the world. Just got to discover what it is. The beauty of that, though, too, when you do give it to the world, others will benefit from it.
When you share your...
Yeah. A lot of people will have their gift and want to keep it to themselves and just benefit for themselves and get rich or whatever it might be. But others just, like, they've got a gift and give it to the world for free. But like the guy that started the internet, no one pretty much knows his name. Do you know his name?
The guy who started the internet?
Yeah.
No, it was for university. At the beginning it was just like not a marketing thing. Or,
Yeah.
No idea.
How much of a gift is that? That guy.
Yeah,
That guy that no one knows his name.
What do you reckon when you will embody Cornelius in the physical? Do you reckon like everybody will notice it, will see it? Like it will be obvious how it will manifest? What will happen?
The feelings in me will change, what they currently are. I'll be more truthful, more straight up with people. People might be pretty confronted by it. I'll be very loving though too, of course. That changes a lot. There'll be lots of changes really too. I think my looks will change as well. Your DNA changes, I'm pretty sure too. Which,
We'll know you are in a different condition than anybody else. Like everybody will feel it.
You'll feel it, as in even. I mean, when you go through some feelings and something happens in you that changes your condition, you'll feel it yourself. So I felt that in myself from early years when I used to do a lot of work and stuff on emotions. And when you have a really big breakdown, they call it a breakdown, it's a release. When you come out from it, you just feel completely different. Lots of things feel different. The world feels different. Yeah. You have new ideas and new feelings about everything, it feels like.
How would that impact the other people? Like, what?
I suppose if you look at it from this perspective, if only one person ever has become at one with God and the earth before, and they're still talking about it 2,000 years later, Jesus, imagine if more people do. It has a big impact on people around them, huge impact.
It will scare many and attract others.
It'll attract others because people want to know, like, how did you become what you become? Even my friend has said that to me. She says, I don't know how, like, what you're doing, but I like the way you live your life. Something feels good. I've had that before after I've been through some of that stuff. People would just come and ask me things. You seem different, like, what happened, what changed? And they feel attracted to come to me before they probably stay away from me.
It's massive.
Just even small changes are quite massive.
Yes.
I don't think the world doesn't realise just how powerful love is. I think because they're a bit jaded about love, but for God's love, the power of it, incredible. More things you can think that would change in like gifts. God's got so many gifts, just if in the right direction, it's just loaded with gifts. religions are man-made. They're not God-made. So if you want to stay with a man-made thing, well, we're going to have man-made results pretty much, aren't you? Which haven't been that good. And for me, like when I was looking at looking for the truth, I used to look at all these different religions and stuff like that and thought, well, you know, these have been around for a long time. So they've had a good chance to prove themselves, and none of them have proved themselves. So they've been tested and they still haven't performed. So I thought, why would you waste your time trying to make them perform? So I'd look for something. That's what I started looking at. Thought, okay, the truth must be in something that's not that popular, and it must be not that much known about. And I was correct when I found it. I don't know. I stay away from Christian-y stuff altogether when mentioning it, because it's just God's truth in the end.
It's God's truth.
Yeah, it's the way God's designed. So
okay.
It doesn't belong to Christianity. It doesn't belong to anything. It's just it's just from God. Yeah. And the best thing is you can test it though too. Like you're free to test it. You're free not to. If you don't like God, then God's already created something else, and that called your soulmate. So if you don't have the greatest love in the universe, you'll have the second greatest. Yeah, so God cares. Like if you're not interested in having a relationship with me, I don't want you to go unhappy because I've got this other love for you that you can have.
Are there things that you wish to share that help you in your own progression and you wish to share for the benefit of others?
I think in the end, bottom line is truth, really. Just to be truthful with yourself, like brutally truthful, not just what you think you can handle sort of thing and what might be comfortable or palatable. It kind of leads to everything else anyway, the truth. That's about as simple as I think I can make it.
We have a strong power to go into self-deception.
Tell yourself the truth. I want to go into self-deception because then find out what the because is. There's a reason behind it emotionally, so just, you know, and not be judgmental about what you want as well. I think is pretty key. That I want this, I want that, but, you know, I want it because of a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but I want to go find out what the reason is. And then once you find out what the reason is, you find an emotion behind it that drives you to want those things. And as you work through that emotion, you don't want those things anymore. They don't seem exciting or interesting or anything. The key.
The key.
It's like the doorway, I suppose, to love. Because love can only happen when there's truth first.
Yeah. And humility.
Yep, just want to feel the truth.
To feel the truth.
Yeah. From God's perspective too, and not from our own. Yeah. It's always going to be a tough journey, but that's what I've experienced too. Like once you learn a bit of truth and then you realise you don't want to know any more about the truth, and it feels really uncomfortable. And because you already know a bit about it, it's going to bug you.
Yeah, exactly.
Until you actually do go and live it.
Yeah.
Or deal with why you don't want to live it. Really, it's the first thing. We're just so, and I'm like this too, we're trying to get away from pain and looking for any avenue you can get away from pain, or all sorts of addictions you can be involved in. Whether it be foods or substances or emotional ones with other people or anything you can just try that tries to make you feel better rather than finding out why you don't feel good. The answer is to really find out why you're not feeling good and not go for the addictions. That's the tricky bit. That's helped me the most recently is just stopping the addictions and looking at the pain. I find out so many just little things that pop up that you never realised before that were bugging you. It cause you pain, And it helps bring some sense and clarity to what's going on too. It doesn't feel so out of control or hopeless. That's where I've got just a tiny bit of faith about going through some fear lately.
You see, there's some. Yes.
But it has to happen by stopping the things that are trying to avoid it.
We are ending in this interview right now, unless you want to add the last thing. Yeah, good. Thank you so much for your time and
You're welcome.
for
Thanks for
coming
offering.
here.